Good morning, everyone. Today we're excited to present our project, MCIT Student Simulator. So basically, this is a web-based simulation game that creates what feels like to be an MCIT student, like us. Not just the studying part, but the full experience, the stress, the trade-offs, and the social life. Of course, also the burnout risk. And this is our menu. In this presentation, we will go through these 5 parts and finally present our tech stacks and future improvements. Let's first talk about the purpose and the why. We built this because in real life, especially in MCIT, your success isn't about being smart. It's about the balance. You need technical skills, but you also need soft skills. You need health, you also need happiness. And in reality, you just can't mix all of this at the same time. Every month, you are forced to sacrifice something. So our simulator turns that pressure into a gamified decision-making experience. Also, we want players to develop empathy for diverse learning styles, as different students have different personalities and CS background. Then let's talk about the initial character system. At the beginning, the player enters their name and then selects their personality type, introvert or extrovert. This isn't just for fun. It actually changes the game difficulty. For example, if you're an extrovert, the social events cost less, but studying costs more. If you are an introvert, when you study, it costs only 20 health because introverts can focus longer. But if you party too much, it costs 50 health. Then we have the background system. If you choose CS background, you will gain 30 tech skills. However, if you choose non-CS background, you will gain 20 soft skills. After that, we set the initial statistics with randomness, as you can see on the board. These 4 parts are set randomly. And we also have the optional course waivers, like waiving 5910 and 5920, which will give us small tech skills boosts. So every run starts slightly different, and this makes the game replayable.
Now I want to talk about the core logic of the game, how to play the game. The entire game lasts for 12 months, which means 12 turns. Each month, the player must choose exactly one action. Very similar to MCIT Life, where you need to arrange your time for study, social, and everything else goes on the same time. So we designed 3 actions: study, party social, and rest. Study gives you plus 15 technical skill. However, it has health costs, which depends on your personality. We also designed the health efficiency relationship. So if your health is above 40, you study at 100% efficiency. But if it drops to 40 or below, you will get a penalty and get only half of the efficiency. This is very realistic for students. Once you're exhausted, studying longer doesn't really mean learning more. And the party action gives you bonuses in soft skills and happiness. Again, there's a health cost, efficiency penalty. This action represents things like networking, making friends, all the social factors that actually matter a lot in real CS career path. And rest action, rest restores your health. You don't gain any base skills, but resting is necessary. If your health falls to 0, you'll burn out, and you will skip the next month, and your health will restore to 50. All 3 actions can trigger random events with different rewards and penalties. I want to highlight office hour. This is a special feature where we implemented an AI-powered interactive experience with 2 professors, Professor Farmer and Professor Irvine. These interactions are powered by Gemini API, which generates short answers and short response, and it feels like a real conversation. Your answer will be evaluated and rewarded by the professors. There are also other random events under social and rest. So the players can explore all of them throughout the game.
Next, I would like to talk about the global rules of the game and some milestone checkpoints to simulate academic pressure. We have a burnout rule. If the player's health becomes 0 or lower, the player collapses. The next month is automatically skipped, and the health value resets to 50, and the happiness value is decreased by 20. Overgrinding doesn't just make you slow down, it can destroy your entire timeline. And at month 6, we evaluate academic progress by adding a midterm exam. It forces the player to reconsider their strategy halfway through. And we also added one more mechanic, the interview invite. So at the end of month 11, the system checks whether your overall growth is strong enough to unlock an interview scene. So finally, at the end of month 12, the simulator assigns one of 6 endings to you. These outcomes are basically different career paths. You can become a SDE, a PhD candidate, a product manager, a unicorn, or dropout, or burned out. So if you doesn't make any of the requirements above, you become a survivor. Now let's talk about the technology behind our simulator. We built this with React for the UI, giving us a component-based architecture that makes the game modular and maintainable. The core is written in JavaScript and CSS, handling all styling. This stack keeps things simple but powerful, letting us focus on the game logic rather than fighting with the tools. So looking ahead, we have 3 major areas for expansion. First, we will add more content. We want to add more diverse random events and branching storylines to make each playthrough feel unique and personal. Second, we want interactive minigames. We plan to add more elements that will make the simulation much more engaging. And finally, we're refining the core logic. More sophisticated decision trees and better balanced outcomes will create endings that feel truly earned, not just random. There is so much more we can build. So overall, MCIT Student Simulator is designed to be strategic, balanced, and rewarding. And we hope that through this simulator, students can better understand in the CS education, the best strategy is not just study harder, it's to study smarter and stay healthy. Thank you for your listening.
Hi, welcome to our MCIT Student Simulator. So basically, this is a game that can simulate the life of MCIT student. You can enter your name here, like Lin, and you can choose those different options, and all those options will affect the process of the game. And you can also choose if you want to view any courses. I don't have too much CS background, so I'm not gonna do anything about those options. So let's start. So here we have 12 months, and after those months, the game will end. And our character has 4 attributes: health, happiness, tech skill, and soft skill. And all of these attributes will affect the final outcome of our game. And on the right hand side, we have 3 options. If I choose study now, sometimes it will trigger different random events, depends on the options you choose. And study again, study again. And because my health is too low, so I'm hospitalized now. And go to study again. And have a rest. Have a rest. And study again. So sometimes Dr. Farmer will ask you a question if you choose to study. And now if I say I don't know, and submit, the AI will evaluate your answer. So I only get 20 score because this is a very bad answer. So basically, the tech skill here will increase based on the performance of your answer. If you provide better answer, then the tech skill will increase more. And take a rest. And go to party. Go to party. And go to party. So because I don't have very high tech skill or soft skill, so I only lived a very happy life, but I haven't learned enough knowledge to get a great job. So that's the outcome of our game, and that's all about my demo. So thanks for watching.